Hi again, it's me, Greg. Welcome back. In this next video, I'm going to talk to you about how to actually use these 3D printers. First off, I told you in the last video we have Lenovo ThinkPads. These are attached to pretty much every Printrbot that we have, and I've already logged in. The username, as stated in our 3D printing guide, is dot/manager, all lowercase. So dot/manager. The password is Charles with a 3 instead of the E, and it's lowercase. So that's Charles with a 3 instead of the E, and that's lowercase. So I've already logged in. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pull up on the bottom screen or in the applications, the application called Cura. It's a blue C. I've pulled it up. Now we notice that there's no file uploaded right now. This is the field where an object would show up. I'm going to tell you basically these things are more complex things that we don't need to get into in this introductory video, but they are important things that if you're really wanting to calibrate the printing, you can address. But right now we're going to go through the basics, and you don't really need to address these things. The first thing is I want to get a file into here. So if you've been using Tinkercad, or if you've gotten a file from Thingiverse, this is where you would find it from your computer. It's also, so anything you've downloaded onto your computer, you find it in your computer. The thing I want to print is called a 3mm box, and it's an STL file. I click open, and you see that it pulls up. Now down here I can rotate, I can change the size of how big it prints, and I can mirror it. I've already pulled that up, so the next thing I do is print with USB. Note the important thing here is that it looks like an hourglass inside of this interesting box. It does not have a floppy disk. If it says floppy disk, if it shows a floppy disk, that means that the printer is not connected to the computer properly. So just please make sure that it's print with USB. Now that we're going to do that, I'm going to go click on this, and it goes to the Printerface UI. Whatever that, that's a long, scary name, but all that means is it's an interface that it tells the printer what to do. So we have our file already uploaded. Notice that it says that it takes 3 minutes to print. It tells you how long it's going to print. This particular file is. So the first things we do when we get in here, this looks a little scary the first time you look at it, but it's very simple. So the first thing we do is we see temperature and bed temp. That stands for bed temperature, obviously, but temperature corresponds to the hot end temperature. So I told you in the last video we typically have our hot end temperature at 210 degrees Fahrenheit. This is already set up for Fahrenheit, and so I'm going to I clicked into this field, right, and then I click 210. To make it register with the computer, you have to click off of that field. Now, the next thing is bed temperature. It says 0 right now. I'm going to put a 5 in front of it, and then click off of it, and it should register with the computer. Up here we have it might be hard to see, but we have 210 and 51. That's because I've already heated the printer up for this video's purpose. But usually this will be rising on both accounts until it gets to 210 and 50. The other thing is these are graphs of the same exact numbers up here. The red one is the hot end temperature, and the blue one is the bed temperature. That being said, the other thing that we need to focus on always is making sure that the printer is leveled out, is zeroed out before we print. So this is a home. It looks like a little house, and X. So it means home. We're going to 0. Put everything at its stock place. So if you can put the video a little on there. So I'm going to click Home X. Notice that X went to 0. It's technically, you don't really need to know this, but it's technically at 20. 20 is 0 for printer bots. It's a little strange for the X function, but Y is 0. It's already at 0. Now we're going to go Z, and we're going to make Z 0. And I make sure that you guys do this after or before every single print. Now, it's all zeroed out. The other thing I'm going to talk to you about right now, this is the first time that you actually print for the day. You want to make sure that nothing's stopped up inside of the hot end. It gets a little clogged sometimes, and so I'm going to, this is called plus C and minus C, plus E and minus E. So plus C is raising the Z value by units of 10, is what I like to do. So I click that a few times, and now I'm going to go plus E. This is, I called this the extruder. That's what it's going to extrude the filament. So I'm going to click plus 10 units of extrusion, and notice that it's coming out. It should be at least. Yep, it is. It's coming out. Okay, so it's coming out very nicely, and so we know that it's not stopped up. I'm going to take, this is what we call the a bamboo stick, but we use it for cleaning this bed up. That's its primary use. So, and for getting any gunk off of the hot end. Also, this is my spatula, metal spatula, and I use it for scraping this gunk, any material that gets stuck on the printer. Okay, so let's get back to this. What I'm going to do is I'm going to home everything again. You have to go X and Y to get to home Z. Okay, now it's already at 2:10 and 50 roughly, so we're going to click print.